everyone, I'm Becky Joe, the Communications Coordinator here at Christian Fellowship, and this is Brittany Brandt.
Hello.
So usually we would do live at lunch from Facebook, but Facebook is broken. Don't worry, it's coming back. So we're doing it from YouTube today, and then we'll post on Facebook. So we mentioned a few weeks ago that today was exciting because we're going to talk about the documentary 13th. And to discuss it with us today is Brittany. So Brittany, how long have you been a part of CF?
I have been a part of CF for about 2.5 years now.
Awesome, yes, and we actually sit in the same section, so
Yes.
that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But she has so graciously come to join us on her lunch break so we can discuss our upcoming movie night. So we've talked about it a few times. It's the documentary 13th, which is about the 13th Amendment and how it freed slaves, but then also had a bit of it prohibited slavery except for if as a punishment for a crime, and how that's really affected our country and our culture and our justice system. And so it's kind of a heavier, video than we would normally do on a movie night. And so we just wanted to take a minute to discuss a little bit about it and a little bit about why we want to show it and encourage people to come. So, So what stood out to you from the film? So it is about just the intersection of different things like race and justice and just a bunch of stuff here in America. And so I was wondering what stood out to you, Brittany.
So what stood out to me most was just the dehumanization of black people, especially black men, and how any little thing could be considered a crime. So that stood out to me the most was just how the 13th Amendment was actually used against black people. And so once they were free, they actually weren't free because they really couldn't do anything without being considered a criminal, loitering, things like that. So very simple things that everyone probably does every day. They were being sent to jail for and unable to provide and create a living for their family after slavery.
Yeah, that's something that we were talking about earlier, actually. Oh, pre-camera fun time. Anyways, so was for me personally, like I didn't realize that either. Just how quickly after that amendment was passed, that it was kind of flipped against who it was supposed to help,
Right.
and so which is just heartbreaking.
Yes.
And so one thing I appreciated about this documentary is it really lays out quite a few decades of history,
Yes.
and how things kind of come together and connect, because it's so easy to kind of see isolated incidents, especially with
Yes.
everything happening with the media.
Exactly.
They were like, oh, this happened and that was bad, and oh, this happened, but we don't see this string of history, which I think was really impactful for me when I watched this documentary.
Yeah, I agree.
To just think on what it looks like as a whole, and then what that looks like moving forward.
Right.
When it comes to, like, Pastor Phil spoke a few weeks ago on just living justly, and what that looks like, and how we just as Christians, what does that look like? And so I'm excited to have this conversation.
Yes. I am too.
For sure.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons we want to do it here at CF is just the fact that we want to keep moving towards just growing as Christians, as people, on justice and equality, and what it looks like to live in this world while having a faith in God and a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so this is just another opportunity to practically jump into that.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm really excited we're doing it. It's just to get people talking and discussing and bringing it to their minds.
Right.
And so I was wondering, what are you excited about for us showing it?
I'm really excited, just to, look at, when I watched the documentary, it allowed me to reflect on things that I didn't know, And I'm excited for people to watch this and look at it as a area of what can I reflect on, what can I do better, and not only that, but how can I help, how can I grow the situation, and maybe when you do see things in the media, you know, because as you mentioned, they are isolated events, and sometimes all the facts are not present depending on who's reporting it. That maybe by watching this documentary, you will, you know, whoever's watching it will look at it and say, you know what, hey, maybe I need to take a step back, evaluate the whole situation, and understand that because of what the 13th Amendment started, does this play a role in this isolated event? And also just to humanize black people again, especially black men. As a black woman with black children, black husband, I definitely, you know, have experienced and seen some things on my end, so I'm sure some of you may not be aware of certain things as well. So that's my hope.
Yeah. And I know for me, it's encouraging that, because you were kind of one of the people that wanted to do this. So
Yeah.
I was just so glad that you're like, yeah, like I want to encourage my church to think about this. And we want to encourage people to think about this and just how we can come together like that, and that you're willing to be like, hey, I have an idea.
Yeah.
So that's really encouraging to me that you want to help us along in that. And so if you didn't know, it's March 22nd, which is a Friday. It's a week and a half from now. Yes. My addition skills are subpar, but week and a half. It's going to be Friday night, 7 p.m. So we're going to start it right at 7.
Yes.
So that people can come a little early. There'll be snacks and you can grab a seat, but we want to start right up at 7 so that we have time afterwards to have some Q&A,
Yes.
which I'm really encouraged and excited about because, and to my knowledge, the way we're doing Q&A is,
so we're going to have a friend of mine, his name is Mataka, and he is going to come and do the Q&A. He's an awesome guy, and he has actually been in prison, and so you'll be able to get that perspective firsthand. It won't be like someone who knows someone. It'll actually be someone who spent time in prison, and he'll be able to answer some of the questions actually being in the system. And what that's going to look like is we're going to give you guys note cards, and during the movie you will write out questions that you have, and then we'll put them in a box, and I'll pull them out and read them, and Mataka will answer. And it will go like that, so that way it can go smoothly, and you can kind of formulate the questions as you go along, because it's going to be a lot to remember, and your thoughts might run away from you. So that's what it's going to look like.
I think for me also, I can be intimidated in asking questions, especially if it has to do where I could be offensive and not mean to be. But even in like class.
Yeah.
I won't raise my hand because I'm afraid to ask questions. So I'm really glad that that's kind of the setup we're going with.
Yes.
Because I think that's going to encourage people to be just real and honest and open to be like, I don't really know, so I'm going to write this down. And just free to be like,
definitely ask the questions.
Together.
Don't be nervous about it. You know, this is for people to learn, and you maybe you do say something offensive, but you're never gonna know if you don't ask, and you're never gonna get the answers or really broaden your knowledge if you don't ask those uncomfortable questions. There's things that I don't know that Mike Aycock, he can tell you that I ask him tons of questions all the time. So don't be afraid to ask the questions. That's what we're here for. We're here for that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so, I don't know why, I'm just really, really excited.
I am too.
Just so excited. It's encouraging to me. But yeah, so Q&A afterwards. We do want to do a note to parents that the documentary is rated MA for mature audiences, so it's not really appropriate for children. And we won't have childcare that night, so we just want to put that out there, because there are some hard scenes to watch. And so we just want to be upfront with that to make sure everyone knows. for parents out there. But
Yeah.
so if you have any questions about what the night will look like, more about the documentary, we will put the link to our event page so that we can, or we already have, because Danny's awesome, so that you can get on there. It has links to more about the documentary and also a trailer, so you can go through and look more about it. I would encourage you to do that. And yeah, if you have any questions,
Repeat that last bit again.
hi, you can go to our website. Sometimes technology is hard and it cuts off when I'm talking, but so make sure and go to our website, check out the trailer, check out more about the video. If you have any questions, you can contact us either via the social media outlets this is on, or call the church office, because we want you to be there. So if you have questions that are making you go, I don't know, you should just call us and come. We'd love to have you. Brittany, thank you again much for coming over on your lunch break. It was great to talk to you.
Good to talk to you as well.
And yeah, you guys have a good